Hi everybody! Welcome back to Story Reckless. We're back! Yay! I am Nathan. I am the DM here, and I use he/him pronouns. And we are a D&D actual play playing in the Descent into Avernus campaign setting. And yeah, we're in Avernus, and we'll probably be here for a while. Let's pass it over to our players for their intros.
I'm Claire. My pronouns are they, them. I am still playing Kidam, who is still a half-elf grave cleric and doing pretty okay right now.
I'm Olive, she and they pronouns, and I am still playing Calliope, Air Genasi Old Lady, and the outfit coordination between me and Enyo was not intentional, but I think it's very funny.
Oh my
Very
god. Why did I just notice that?
Hi, I'm Enyo. I'm sorry, I was still thinking about the outfit coordination. Yeah. They them pronouns, and I'll be playing Pip, a satyr with maybe a few devilish tendencies, who is actually like kind of excited to meet Zariel.
I see why.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, with that, I think it's time to kick off this next portion of Avernus, this next chapter. So I don't know if there's anybody new in chat tonight, but typically when we start a new chapter, we kind of do a little introduction, and we may have our players re-describe themselves in case anybody new is joining. This is always a nice spot to pick up and join us. So, with that, boy oh boy, let's do the introduction. So, we all see a dark black sphere, a void. There is crackling energy of blue lightning sort of arcing off of its exterior. As we pull further away from this massive sphere, we start to realize the scale of this object. It is hovering above a city. We can see that it dwarfs the towers, bell towers, rooftops, and domed structures of this city. And in the sky above it, we can see a hellish, reddish sky with far off in the distance streaks of burning meteorites falling from the sky. As we continue to pull back, we see that this city is not on the ground. It is floating far above a hellish landscape. And there are chains of dark infernal iron slammed into the edges of this rocky floating island. Chains extend down from these anchor points down to massive pylons that are built on the banks of a dark river. We also start to hear a cacophonous sound of battle as thousands of demons pour out of the river Styx and clash with thousands of devils on both banks of the river. But we need to go back into the city. As we cut and transition into the streets of Avernus, practically empty, albeit scatterings of dead bodies, hulking figures, devilish in nature, moving through the streets, the faint cry of a baby echoing through the streets. A baby's laughter, but it's off, it's strange. And we see an armored figure with a baby's face on it, lurching through the destroyed streets of El Turel. For that is the city that we find ourselves. El Turel, once a holy city protected by the burning light of the Companion, now in the depths of hell, being loomed over by the dark void of this new companion. As we continue to delve deeper into the city, we find ourselves transitioning into a dark cellar and then transitioning once more into sewers, which are all, at this point, bone dry of any sort of liquid. There's a couple of creatures that scurry past us. Some appear to be rats, which are quickly being pursued by strange, impish little things, insect-like in nature, with little antennae poking out of their heads as they chase after these little rats. And we continue going deeper and deeper until we find ourselves going past what appears to be a solid wall. And as we go through the cracks in the stonework, we find ourselves opening up into a vaulted chamber filled with the sound of people whimpering, holding each other, some hushed whispers, and various individuals cloaked with weapons at their sides patrolling this space. We can see crates and barrels of supplies stacked in the corners, and as we head towards one alcove in this vaulted chamber, we can see 3 individuals. What do you think the 3 of you are doing in this moment as you find yourselves here in this Zentarum hideout deep within the bowels of El Terrell?
I think Calliope, this short, little, kind of like hunched over Air Genasi lady, just kind of like mottled white, cloudy skin, is fussing over a desk that has folded out from this large chicken walker sort of looking creature, made up of leather and gears and like wrought iron. And I think she's just like muttering to herself, like really kind of like energetically, just like, do I have enough of sprockets over here? I should bring a little bit more rope. Okay, can I write that down here? And like she's just kind of like scattered, and it's like obvious from the outside that like she's kind of like really nervous and has time to kill and is not doing it well. She's definitely like in her head about kind of the next step of this.
Yeah, so with this short Genasi woman hunched over this makeshift table that has been designed from your construct, what about the other 2 individuals? What are you doing as Calliope is fussing over the table and the plans that are on there? Pip?
I think Pip is sort of leaned up against the wall, kind of watching Calliope. And she's, I don't know, like very 50s femme fatale, like flipping the soul coin.
Ooh. And do you mind describing what Pip looks like for us?
Yeah, Pip, short, but not as short as Calliope. Kind of a curvy, very 50s femme fatale, I guess, but a satyr. You can't necessarily see that she actually has goat legs, though, because she has massive thigh-high, weirdly engineered boots to make her look like she's human. And she can also change her height, maybe up to like 3 inches. All the better to fool people with. And yes, a massive hat, and long curly hair.
We also notice as we kind of push in to a close-up of you flipping this coin, and we kind of go up under the brim of the hat and can see Pip up close, that her eyes are a fiery red, and there are, I believe, 2 horns that are curling out from your forehead, correct?
Yes.
Your skin,
I
your
think
skin
the hat is kind of
changed,
resting
right?
on them. No, not yet.
Okay.
But I just keep telling people that, like, these are the horns I was, born with. Well, I guess I don't say that. I say that in a way that's clearly a lie of omission.
Yeah. Awesome. So as you sit there watching Calliope work at her desk, flipping the soul coin, this dark iron coin with a skull kind of engraved on the front of it, we pan over and we see, what are you doing, Kadam?
am having a smoke. Keeping an eye on the soul coin as well, but not hovering over Pip. And also regarding the rest of the room with a certain amount of satisfaction and relief. And also keeping an eye on the tall, red-skinned tiefling woman who is probably also relatively nearby.
Yeah.
Um,
Before we
I-
go to her, I want to know
yeah.
what you look like as you sit there smoking
I
your pipe.
am a somewhat stocky, dark-skinned half-elf with shoulder-length dreads and very cozy clothing, over top of which is like bright, shining silver mithril elven armor. Um, at my belt, I have a pouch for a mirror that is tucked in, partially obscured, and a small satchel slung over my shoulder. I also have a few ear piercings. Sometimes forget about those.
Awesome. And yes, standing by your side is a very tall, broad-shouldered tiefling woman in, I believe she's wearing plate armor. Yeah, she has full plate armor. And now she has a glaive, I believe, right? She is, I think she has the, yeah, I think in this state, she just has the glaive slung across her back with some sort of strap, and it's just kind of at an angle on her back. And she is leaning against the wall, arms crossed, next to you, Kadam, watching Calliope fuss about at the desk. She has ibex horns, I believe, like tall black ibex horns, red skin, the relatively common for tieflings, the full fiery orange yellow eyes, looking over at the Genasi woman Pip, fussing about, and then looks to you, Kadam. Do you think she's trying to come up with some sort of plan on getting us down there?
I think if you asked her, she would say yes. I think what she's actually doing is trying not to panic.
She's been at it for quite a while, probably what, like 2 hours now?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think it calms her to do things with her hands.
It makes sense.
How are you doing?
Much better now. It feels good to be moving again and working towards something.
Even something as abstract and vague as find Zariel's sword because someone else had visions that it might be helpful?
To be honest, yes, it does. Before that happened, things weren't looking good.
No, they weren't.
Her fiery eyes flick up towards you, kind of locking with an intensity. Her brow furrows a bit. I don't think of myself as a coward, Kadam. But I am a survivor. I was pretty close to striking out on my own. She looks about at the crowd of individuals that you all stand before, all the people that you've helped get to a safer place. There are numerous individuals. There are some children, there are numerous ages, some old, some young. All of them right now, some look to be still in a very worried, traumatized state. There are others that seem to be showing the first signs of relaxation, holding each other, sleeping in each other's arms. some people playing whatever sort of games they can scrounge up, whether it be dice or cards, and you even hear a couple of bursts of quiet laughter amongst certain individuals. As that is happening, though, you all kind of catch movement and a bit of glinting gold light coming down one of the hallways, and fluttering into the room you see probably like a large cat, maybe a small dog, like a 30-pound dog, sized elephant with golden skin and golden feathers cascading down the top of the head and the back, and massive, kind of smaller little ears that are off to the side, but sort of sprouting where roughly the ears would be are, I believe it's 4 feathery wings that are just fluttering like as this little golden elephant sort of shoots into the room and glides across the crowd. All the crowd kind of lets out a little gasp of excitement as Lulu, the little golden elephant, comes fluttering into the room and comes fluttering up and hovers there right before you, Calliope, as she looks down. Oh, hi!
Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. I have some possible things to look through. I know I gave you that blanket earlier, but
Right, yeah.
yeah, because you're a little bit sparkly, and when we're doing skullduggery, it's a little hard. I've made you a little suit. I don't know if you want to try it on.
Sure, yeah.
But it's a little bit better than just throwing a blanket over.
Yeah, I would love that. I don't think I've ever worn clothing before. I mean, maybe, but not that I can remember.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Kidam had a couple pointers for me.
Can I see it?
Yeah, here. And I think, what does Lulu's little
what does it look
jacket
like?
want to look like?
Yeah.
What would Kidam have suggested if Calliope came to them with just something really practical, just I don't know, it would be basically just a horse blanket with straps. Would Kidam have made any suggestions to that?
I mean, as long as it can securely attach and gives Lulu full range of motion.
Right. The wing pulls, of course, yes.
Yeah, she needs to be able to fly.
Yeah, so I think it's just some kind of
What, you wouldn't ask Pip?
You know what? Yeah, I think I would. Also,
Pip's the fashionista. I know how to put clothing together, but
well, you did such a good job with Little Dummy, referencing over to
yeah.
this little basically monkey, animated puppet, kind of bouncing around.
Just
just
bouncing on the side of the desk that you've created. This little sock puppet monkey.
green and purple stripes.
Oh.
Yeah, does Pip have any fashion advice?
Yeah. I think Pip is just it needs to be sleek. This is her heist outfit. And wants to put Lulu in a cat suit with splits for her wings.
So okay, we have two very different approaches here. Cat suit or green and purple stripe, more cozy.
I apologize. Little Dummy is green and purple stripes.
Understood. Little Dummy is green and purple stripes. Got it. Okay. I was like, wow, green and purple stripes going with the golden elephant. That is some...
I think I have a slightly better understanding of how color works than that.
So, Pip, yeah, a little cat suit. Okay.
And so I guess that's what I pulled out.
So is it dark leather or
It's a tactical cat suit, so it's whatever material our artificer thought was best.
Okay.
Yeah, probably just what's
just picturing
I want to say a
Catwoman
or something
outfit.
That's what
They
I'm
have, like, a
picturing
stretchy top.
too.
like literally black leather, Catwoman outfit.
Okay, what about
Okay.
Shigo from Kim Possible?
Ooh, which one?
But it's black. It's just all black, no green.
All right, awesome. So a black
Okay.
outfit for Lulu.
A black leather outfit. Yes, sure.
Okay.
With like little
Thank you.
buckles or like rivulets along
Okay.
Oh
like
my god.
I know,
All
like
right.
probably along the sides.
Okay.
Streamlined. It'll make you go fast.
Oh, yeah. That looks great. Okay. It's nice and dark. That should work well for, covering up my sparkles. But if I do my trumpet, I mean, that's still gonna shoot rainbows out, so.
And it'll look so good coming out of that.
Oh, thanks, Pip. I'm probably gonna need help putting it on, And she holds up her little elephant feet. No, posable thumbs. I have my trunk, but I can only go so far. You help put this little leather cat suit on Lulu. Lulu.
If anyone has objections, say it to my face.
So it does a little bit.
She can wear whatever she wants.
It does,
I think Pip adjusts it so that it is trunk accessible.
Oh yeah. Wait, is it covering her face?
No.
This isn't a gimp suit.
No, it's just.
It's just like along the trunk. It's like
just with spikes on the
She
side.
can't move in it.
Anyways, so just her body.
I just
put
mean
on
like
this.
the poles. She takes the poles trunk
Yeah,
accessible.
you put on this leather suit on her body. If it is leather, you can kind of hear it, sort of creaking as she moves. But she's sitting there, and yeah, I mean, it covers up a little bit of the light. The wings are still very much visible and still, a little bit of light shimmering off the wings. But yeah, she looks good.
Okay, you give that a couple like twirls around and like we can readjust this as we go.
Okay, yeah. And she does a couple of like loop-de-loops around the room, and all the kids are just like, honestly, when she comes into the room, like almost everybody is just eyes affixed on her, and then eventually the adults kind of start to go back to what they're doing, but all of the kids just cannot stop looking at her. Like, it is a constant fixation. But yeah, she kind of lands next, or she just kind of hovers there over your desk after doing some loops, and looks over the three of you, or looks over the four of you, Valor included. So what's the plan? I had to go stretch my wings a bit. Calliope, it's been a couple hours. You got an idea of what we're doing?
We go down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That'll be no problem for me.
that's very true. I think we could definitely get down. The question is whether we can get down while still being alive. I'm concerned about, all of the flying creatures that are below us.
Yeah. It doesn't look good.
If we just like dump a whole bunch of stuff off along with us, we'll just be lost in the debris. That's the plan. I've thought of a lot of other plans, but that's the best one that I've got. I just keep coming back to. We're trash.
So like, shove some trash off, big trash, off the edge, and then we fall down with it.
Exactly.
Like holding on to chunks of stone or something.
Yeah, sounds great.
I did notice, like, every once in a while, pieces of stone falling off. When those quakes hit. Is that
I was able to grab
fair.
I think Pip and I were able to grab some materials back from the aviary. And so yeah, once we get to a kind of like lowish, once we get most of the way, we can just like pull these cords, and it should work. It should work.
Like, pull the cords to slow your descent?
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like a poof, and then we'll be like whoosh.
I do have a question though, because I did notice, like, so if you're gonna go straight down, it's either the river or there's all the creatures straight below.
Yeah,
I sure see that.
know that we have the ability to fly fully, Lulu.
Oh,
I know Fort Knucklebone ain't right underneath us, but
no, it's a little ways off. We're definitely gonna have to trek. Could
Well-
the thing you found, could it like could it make you glide or something?
I think with some modifications, Pip and I, maybe we could tweak it, make it more rigid body structure. It's not gonna look like trash as much.
Okay, hold on. I thought we were doing the parachute zip line down the chains. We're not.
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean,
Okay.
that honestly sounds like it would be fun if our lives weren't in danger, but
Well, okay, but if we make one big enough so that we can all go down the zip line at the same time, we'll probably need just one person making sure that we don't fall to our deaths, and everybody else can focus on any creatures that may attack us. Objections?
you two are the brains of this operation.
Yeah, no offense, Kidan, but I was mostly talking to Calliope.
So it's like we fall, but we like work our way down, like along one of the chains.
Yes.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
So sorry, walk me through it. You're gonna go down the chains to
Probably
uh-huh.
The side closest to Fort Knucklebone.
Okay. And are you gonna just go to the top of the pylon that the chain connects to, and then from there?
Yeah, then we just kind of hop down.
How big are the pylons?
Very big. And the
Okay.
chains too. If you like, I saw you kind of do the motion like in the movies when people like zip line
They're
down.
big for that. Yeah.
They're really big.
Okay.
Here I can give you. I'll give you dimensions. 'Cause why not?
Okay. Well, we can do the reverse because you have the climbing kit. Kidan has a climbing kit.
Each
Do
chain
we want to do
link,
something like that?
Each chain link is 30 feet long, 20 feet wide, and the iron like thickness of the welded loop is about 5 feet thick. So these are massive chains. Now you would have noticed. You probably would have been able to pick out this detail because they're so big. They do appear to have like barbs on some of the chains, like little spurs that kind of come off of some of the chains. But
So
yeah.
climbing down might work better than zip lining down.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how you would zip line down a chain that's that big.
We have a very big parachute, maybe.
I kind of like this glider idea.
Sure. I mean, I'm happy to go however you want.
I mean, I could provide a distraction again.
I think
really
you've
fast.
provided enough distractions. It's been a little bit dicey. I think we've been leaning kind of heavily on the Lulu distraction tactic. Let's
Wait,
let everyone,
Yeah, I guess
we
so.
meant for a bit.
We could still use the rockfall, the garbage, as a distraction. We're just not part of it necessarily.
Or like,
Sure.
yeah.
Why don't we just grab onto some large garbage and fall, and then one of the two of you can cast feather fall on us?
Because then we fall into the river, I think, or into an active battlefield.
Yes.
Those are our two options.
So we would want, but we could, I mean, it does work better to just try and glide as far as we possibly can, but that really does rely on us having a good glider. How much time will do we have to do that?
I mean, maybe like you said something about the hitting something and then it opens up. Could you do kind of both? Could you fall with the trash and then at a certain level, phew, and then glide?
That's-
Maybe that would be enough of a...
I think we might have had a half-finished project like that back actually at the aviary, maybe.
Oh,
So we wouldn't have to manufacture it from scratch.
Yeah, of course, I can tinker.
Yeah, okay.
Let's head
we can
back
do
to the
this.
aviary.
Yeah, let's head to the aviary and make some gliders.
okay. So you
Will
want
I
to go...
be helpful?
I kind of want to just like head out right after. Just get to
Head
the
out right
aviary.
after what?
I mean, we just go get the gliders, spend a little time making them. Then
Oh,
head
I
out.
see what you mean. You want me to come with you?
Yeah.
Whether I'm helpful or not.
That
All
sounds
right.
Okay, so you want to go to the aviary and try to repair or construct a glider.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So as you finish up wrapping up this plan, Calliope, you kind of fold up Big Dummy, kind of folds into itself and reveals the actual form, which looks like, as Big Dummy kind of stands there. If you want to describe Big Dummy as in his
yeah. So in the like refolded in like not like workshop, it's a chicken walker. It's like there's this kind of looks like a boat seat, but kind of like with these like armor platings and all of these like pieces of like ropes going around pulleys and stuff, and then like these two like kind of backwards facing like chicken legs, and it's just kind of crouched down.
awesome.
And on the back of it, it does have like this kind of like weird scorpion-like tail, currently just like kind of in this like locked in like resting position. And so like Calliope, okay, pulls herself up into it, and kind of like puts her hands on these two like marionette sort of like controls, lifts them up, and then Big Dummy stands up and starts kind of like chicken walking out,
Very cool.
and head into the aviary.
And
Y'all ready?
And for a size comparison, it's like, it's not like a big massive mech. It's
It
like
is a medium
a
creature.
medium creature, so it's probably no more than 7 feet in length. But it's
Like ostrich size.
yeah,
I
ostrich
think
size. That's
in a
probably
horse. Yeah.
Without the long neck. Yeah, totally. Cool. So you all gather up everything. Yeah, Kadam.
I'm happy to say that we just did this, but I will cast sending to Isadora to make sure that she's okay and report back to Carter.
Yes, you release the sending spell and connect. Well, actually, I'm curious really quick. I'm just gonna. Oh no. The sending spell doesn't go through.
Wait, it doesn't?
I rolled a 1 on the D100.
All right.
It doesn't
I'll
go
panic
through. Yeah.
and cast it again.
Okay. It goes through. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So it does not connect. Yeah, sometimes the call drops. The first one does not connect, and then you cast it again, and it gets through. Isadora informs you that. Where's Isadora? Do I have them? Yeah, she. She informs you that she made it. I was very thankful to have the levitation potion that Pip gave her, as she did indeed appear above a massive crater, and immediately started to plummet and had to. I guess she would have taken it before going in. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, was able to float down to the bottom of the crater. And that's actually a good point. Since we're kind of picking up new here, I should just assume... Did you guys take a long rest at the end of last session, or is this
Yes.
You did,
Yes, or
okay.
otherwise I wouldn't be able to cast this.
Okay, so I don't need to mess with the calendar then. Like no extra time has passed. Okay. Cool.
I
Yeah.
think Pip gets to during their downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Pip makes a couple of potions.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
can make 2 potions.
Awesome. Let's see what those are.
Yeah.
But yeah, she informs you that she made it safe and that she is trekking back to. God, where is she gonna head? Probably trekking back to Baldur's Gate because that's the closest city. So. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that's gonna work terribly well, but okay.
Yeah. I'll have to look at the map. She may have gone somewhere else, but yeah.
Borskier Bridge is closer.
Oh, is that one of the smaller outlying towns?
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, she made it safe. And you're able to inform Carter of that. And yeah, he's very thankful. I think, actually, so when you tell him that, oh yeah, I'm looking at this Faerun map here. So yeah, she probably headed, there's the town of Triel, I think. So she probably headed to that town. When you tell him of this, he asks if you would be willing to, when you can, reach out to her again and ask her to make her way to Candlekeep.
I can. I won't be able to relay any more messages between the two of you, though. I am planning on leaving.
Right, yes, I would just, if you could, and we see Carter, this human man, kind of short human man with a very heavy set, powerful build. He's got these rounded glasses on. He looks at you. If you could just inform her to head to Candlekeep and ask her to reach out to our contacts there. She'll know who to reach out to.
Sure.
And tell her that Carter is willing to pay whatever it takes for them to figure out how the fuck to get us out of here.
Certainly. They are on it at Candlekeep. One of the great readers is personally overseeing trying to get Eltrail back.
Well, nevertheless, I think it'd be good
Absolutely.
to have some of our own folks involved.
No, I understand that.
Thank you, kiddo.
You're very welcome. And I will toddle off to the aviary.
Yeah, you all gather up your supplies and we'll just cut straight away to the outside of this massive hangar-like building with a kind of domed back part of the roof, almost like the top of a thing that holds a giant telescope, an observatory. And you can see that indeed the roof is sort of peeled open, one side of it heavily damaged. But we see the 5 of you all out in front of the aviary heading into this massive hangar. Calliope, what is the plan here? What are you doing as you step inside this very open space filled with debris? You can see all the various pieces that are inside of here that were used for accessing the companion.
Okay, so I wanted to get more funding for this, but they never really worked out. It was gonna be. I've been looking a lot into how to get, the dragoons flying. You've seen one of the attempts with those whirligigs. There was more of a fixed body structure for a dedicated aerial vehicle. I think there's some prototypes. It was kind of in the back, so maybe it might have escaped the damage.
Okay.
But it never really kind of worked. But we only need to go down. And that was not as much of a problem or an advantage that we had back then.
Our gift to getting Red Bull fluff tag vibes. I don't know if y'all have seen the Red Bull thing where people try to make their own flying vehicles. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so if Calliope, if you want to, well, whoever wants to so I want to do similar that we did with the hot air balloon. It's going to be 3 ability, or it's best 3 out of 5. So if you can do an ability check for me, the first one I would say would be an investigation check to see what materials you're able to find, like how intact, how is it damaged. So if one of you could do an investigation,
I think
check
Pip would
for me.
definitely help with that.
Yeah.
Because Pip is like, scrounging, this is what I am good at. You tell me what exactly it is you need, and also, sometimes she'll have some intuition as a tinkerer herself and be like, oh yeah, that'll be helpful.
Awesome. So do you want to lead this, Pip, or do you want to lead this, Calliope? This will be an investigation roll.
Do you have proficiency?
I-
Who's more investigative?
I don't, but I think I should lead it, just like even narratively. Like I'm the one who knows like around the.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do it with advantage as Pip scurries off with you to go start investigating.
That's a nat 20 for 25.
Nice. Awesome.
You know your stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you scurry back there with Pip. Kadam, you're towards the front with Valor and Lulu, and you just watch them take off. And within like 5 minutes, Calliope, you find a fully intact prototype of one of these gliders. It's not fully finished. It needs a little bit of extra work to get it to where you would feel confident that it will function. What does it look like?
Also, I think like it wasn't meant for 5 people.
Yeah.
So it's gonna just kind of be a parachute that goes sideways.
Yeah, a angled parachute. Yeah. What does it look like?
What does it look like? I mean, like I keep leaning back on Leonardo da Vinci's.
Yeah, totally.
Look up real quick.
It's almost bird bat-like, right?
Yeah. So the one that he did, he had 2 famous ones. He had the whirligig one, which like we've seen whenever I cast Levitate. And this one, it's more of kind of like there's a central kind of like rectangular frame that like you slot into, like, and you lie horizontally, with like these 2 like wings going out. And originally it was designed that you had to like kind of like pump the wings yourself. And there's also a tail, so you're kind of like lying on like the body of this thing, and then there's like a tail that goes back. So I think what we're gonna do is that we're gonna kind of like expand the frame and reduce the like make it so like you don't flap. So we're just gonna lock that in place and like make it be like kind of more heavyweight. So there's a couple places that we can like strap into.
Awesome. All right. So I think for this next roll, this is like, I would say if you're using tools to do this, this would be one of those rolls where it's like you can add your proficiency bonus plus your, I want to say it's either dexterity or, I think there's 2 rolls here. I think there's the initial roll of kind of setting out the design to kind of figure out like what this is going to look like. That would be a
Calliope basically just said.
Yeah, so that would be like an intelligence roll. So probably intelligence, and if you have a tool you can justify to use, you could add that proficiency bonus to it.
I don't know if I do. Okay. So I think this is mostly sorry, Hidan, like Pip and Calliope working in concert, where like Calliope has like laid out or is laying out the plans, and Pip is going to do most of like the hands-on stuff.
So Calliope, why don't you first roll an intelligence roll for me, and this is you kind of guiding the construction of this.
Okay.
Whoa!
roll the 19.
Oh my
Or...
God.
So
Oh
this,
my
I
God.
think we're learning that this was like Calliope's like pet project outside of her pet project of like the dragoons in general. It would just be so cool. Like I love Big Dummy, but and like you can see a lot of like a bird inspiration in Big Dummy. It just wasn't really ever feasible. Uh, turns out, squire crystals are actually kind of like heavier the higher up you go. It's really weird.
Why does that happen?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So it never really worked to like have it powered flight going up. But again, not a problem right now.
All right, so you have the plan set out of how to expand this thing. So now, Pip, if you have a tool set that you can justify using, I would say this is Dex plus if you have a tool that you're proficient in.
I
you can
have
use this.
Tinker's tools.
Perfect, yeah. So this could be Dex plus your proficiency bonus
Okay.
to do this next part of assembling it.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Dex plus proficiency. I feel like my proficiency isn't that much more now. That's fine.
It's still only +3, right?
So this is just a Dex roll?
And then you add a +3 to your Dex roll, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So whatever, yeah.
That's 20.
20, nice. Are you doing that in which dice?
Oh, yeah, I am, but I'm in the wrong room.
You're in
My
yeah,
bad.
that's what it was. But I trust you. Don't worry about it. Okay,
Yeah.
20, amazing. So, Pip, what does it look like as you finish the final pieces of construction on this new apparatus?
I think Pip is they're playing like what is it? Brain and hand. Hand and brain. Where Clive is just like, yeah, put it over there, and Pip is like, okay, all right. And is just like barely even thinking about it anymore. And it's just like, I've heard Calliope talk about this so much. I already know how it's built. I know that this was your pet project. You've only told me this story like a dozen times now.
Amazing.
Well, okay, you see what I was talking about though, right? Like it should be theoretically possible, but you just need like a better power. Okay, so the square crystals like don't get like heavier. It's just like they can lift less weight. Which kind of like
that's very different.
That's
That's very different. You should specify to begin with, because now the things I'm thinking about, my theories are completely different. It doesn't matter. Okay, where does this part go?
So as this shop talk is going on, rattling off in this chamber, and you can hear it echoing throughout the space, we see Kadam, Lulu, and Valor all still patiently waiting towards the front of the building. Valor periodically like looking out the doors and just checking and looking up in the sky, and then looks back to both you and Lulu. And just goes, "Are they always like this? Did they always get?"
Yes.
All right.
If you get Pip away from Calliope, Pip's a great conversationalist, but when they're together, it's this.
Oh my goodness. It's like, I mean, I can tell I think they're having a good time, but the amount of back and forth and... Alright. I'm just making sure, everything's fine. I haven't seen anything quite yet, so I think we're good, but...
How are you and Pip?
Me and Pip? What does that mean?
I mean, she has been flirting with you, and you have been responding positively.
Well, sure. I mean, it's fun. I can't. I mean, have you seen her? It's.
Yeah, you seem to lack hairy-legged women with hooves.
Pardon. Lulu is like slowly like fluttering in closer, looking very curiously at this conversation. Look, I like people, all right? These people in particular. You seem to surround yourself with interesting people that I'm drawn to. They're attractive, all right? What do you want from me? Also, we're in hell. I mean, come on now. I don't know why I'm being so defensive, okay? I
don't know why you're being so defensive either.
I don't know. You caught me off guard. There was just something... I'm sorry. let me take some steps back here. Maybe I was feeling worried that you were accusing me of something because, yes, I did show some interest in Lovelace. And, I don't know. Some people get particular about that. How is Lovelace, by the way? Not good.
She and I aren't good. Two of you went on a date, right? At least that's what you both said it was initially.
Yes, it was nice. I don't think Lovelace was ready for.
No. You ain't the first one who she has expressed interest in and then dropped as though you were made of coals.
Oh, wow, I didn't. I mean, it wasn't quite like that. For me.
Sorry.
I can see things did not go well with you and Lovelace.
Lovelace runs from that which she loves. I've seen it happen many times, and I knew that eventually she would run from me too. It just really hurt the way she did it.
Sorry, Kadam.
Me too.
You hear the fluttering of Lulu's wings next to you, and her voice kind of creeps in. Oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I probably shouldn't have. I feel like I'm eavesdropping.
You're all right, Lulu.
Do you want a hug?
That will be nice.
She just gently extends her trunk and kind of wraps it around.
Is she wearing the
her,
cat suit?
In her little cat suit, and her little like elephant legs kind of don't really wrap around you, just kind of like touch the sides of your chest. She's soft. She's really warm in a pleasant way. And you almost feel like she's not. There's no audible sound coming, but there's almost like when a cat lays on your chest and there's that vibration from the purring. There's almost just like this perpetual vibration, like a purr kind of emanating from her that just feels really pleasant when she presses against you. It's okay, Kadam.
Yes. Yeah, that is okay. It helped that I had been expecting it at some point. She left a lot of people in the lurch.
She seemed to have a lot going on. When we were together, did she tell you about the tree?
She did tell me about the tree, yeah. She drew out the picture for me.
She seems... It seemed to hit her heart, and she was...
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly happened between the two of you, and I'm not saying it makes it right that she dropped you and ran, but... I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I think the tree was the beginning of the end, or at least the beginning of the excuse for the end. We went on another mission for our employer who Guys, I would love to tell you about it at some point. And Lovelace just made a really bad mistake, and then cut and ran on our way back. I mean, she told me she was going off to pursue this tree business and this ghost business, but I don't see why it was any more urgent right then than it had been for the past year. Left me to face our crew and our employer by myself.
Yeah, that's not right.
So, you're the first person I'm talking to about it, really. I felt like I needed to defend her to everyone else.
And you haven't seen her since.
No. I know she didn't go down with El Terrell. I did message her once when El Terrell fell. And she said she was in the Wood of Sharp Teeth. But that place ain't safe.
No. Have you tried messaging her again, or you're just not ready for that?
I think I need her to come to me.
If she comes here, that would be saying quite a lot.
That would. She don't know I'm down here, though.
Well, back to the topic of Pip.
Right, Pip.
I guess in my
I think at that point, Pip
yeah.
just like calls out, or you hear Pip
Yeah.
call out, like, "We need some big lady muscles over here."
You're being called.
She flashes a smile at you with her kind of very pronounced canines glinting in the light. All right, we'll see where this goes. Nothing serious right now, all right? Just having fun, because why not? And she starts to saunter over to all of you. All right, I'm coming. Here come the big muscles for you. As she saunters up and helps you do the final assembly of the glider. With the glider fully assembled, it probably took you about an hour to do all of this. You get it all set up and assembled. How much bigger do you envision this thing being? I'll say Calliope probably, since this was kind of your project. Like, you've expanded it. Is it like... Yeah, I don't know. Just some kind of baseline visual.
An hour is really fast work for this kind of stuff. So I imagine it's really kind of shoddy, and because it's only one-time use. So I think what we've kind of done is we've just like ripped out the like central assembly and like bolted on like two wings, so basically just like a cart. Like a horse-drawn cart.
Yeah.
And like kind of Frankensteined a couple wings together.
I was about to say, yeah, are the wings themselves bigger as well?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking for a second, like we just maybe put like double-decker wings from like two different prototypes on it. But I kind of like the idea of just like having lashed on a whole bunch of like extra like just surface area.
We could have used the remains of the
balloon,
the hot air balloon.
Yeah,
cool. Okay.
I think so.
So with this now all assembled together, yeah. Now this.
And I think for moving it,
yeah,
I think we can't, like the streets aren't going to be big enough for like the wings and stuff. So like we've kind of left the wheels on this cart that we've murdered. Put the wings into it and say, we're gonna do the final assembly, on site on the edge, and we're just gonna wheel it out there pop these wheels off, put the wheels on, have big, strong lady muscles, push us off.
Yeah, and then Valor's standing there looking at all this and goes, "Oh, so you just need me here to be like a draft horse?"
Yes.
Okay, fine, sure. And she grabs the, what do you call the thing that you actually put on the horse to like...
Harness.
The harness, I guess, yeah. She like grabs the harness quite literally and like kind of puts it on and just starts pulling this cart.
And I think it's like very off balance or something, and like Big Dummy is like walking and just kind of like a walking support for half of it.
Cool. So you wheel this cart out into the streets, doing your best to make sure you don't run into any patrols of devils, and start wheeling in the direction that Lulu pointed that Fort Knucklebone was located. Let me think about where that would be in relation to the map of El Terrell. Okay. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm looking at the map of Avernus.
We haven't done that yet.
I know. You still have it, right?
We do.
Or Pip has it, yeah.
We were told to not look at it terribly much, though, so...
Okay, cool. Yeah. So the direction that she kind of points is to the northeast. So it seems to be on the eastern bank of the river. So you could either draw the cart. I may as well bring the... Not that we don't need to be super precise about this, but you could either, drag the cart to this northern side of El Terrell, or you could bring it to the other side where the Zentarum hideout, or no, that was on this side, but or you could drag it across Torm's Reach, or the bridges of Torm, and go to that side of the city and try to do it from there. This is not super important. This is purely for flavor, but yeah, I'm just curious of do you think y'all would take it to the other side of the city and back across, or just go straight north and try to jump off from the northern edge of the city?
I think we want to minimize our time walking through the streets.
I think so.
And
Probably
even,
just go north.
okay, we're going to be a little off target because I don't think we can steer this thing. Just means we'll have to track a little bit harder.
Lulu fluttering next to you all as Valor is pulling this cart through the streets, kind of huffing and puffing with Big Dummy helping. Lulu's fluttering there as you're saying this. Are we still gonna do the trash thing with this, or just this?
I mean, we can throw the rest of the stuff in this cart off, I guess, the wheels and stuff, but
Oh, okay. Well,
Maybe I'll just shoot shoot off some rocks, whatever.
Just shoot your gun.
Yeah, okay, maybe not. Maybe I won't. I think we'll be fine. We'll just go. I could.
Can I use the climbing equipment? How many harnesses are in there? Is it just one?
Yeah, and the climbing gear?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would think there's at least 2.
All right.
I mean, yeah, if it's, I would say if it's climbing equipment that's literally meant to be a person buys this kit, I think it's probably 2 harnesses. I would think if there's more than that, that would seem kind of odd. That's probably something you have to buy separately. So yeah, let's go with 2. There's 2 harnesses.
Pip has 50 feet of rope that has had magic mouth cast on it. I think when On the way back, she just sees it and is like, "Oh yeah, I'll just keep that."
Yeah, I mean, to that point, you can make a harness with just rope. Like, you can definitely do that. So,
All right.
did you
Well,
want
if we
to?
can
Yeah,
get harnesses for all 4 of us, then I think that will be good.
yeah. I mean, so you have the 2 harnesses from the climbing equipment. If you want to, Pip, if you want to use your rope, you can make the harness. I mean, you could make if you're willing to cut your rope up, you could definitely make 2 from it. But you could also just, if somebody else has rope, you could just make another harness from that.
I have 2 50-foot
There you
pieces
go.
of rope.
So everybody has harnesses. Is the intent here to hook yourself into this glider?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. After carefully, as best you can, winding your way through the streets, there are a couple of close calls where you have to stop as you hear a patrol coming, and Valor has to kind of shove the cart back into an alley, and you all wait there breathlessly as the patrol passes. It's especially dicey when you have to cross across the massive boulevard at the end of the hill where the park comes to an end. And this is something that I don't know if y'all really saw last time, because with the bridges you were coming up these side paths along the hill, but as you go through Calliope, what used to be this grand, spectacular little man-made pond with a fountain in the center has now completely turned into just molten rock and lava that's just kind of bubbling and sizzling there. And in the center, where there used to be this beautiful fountain with sculptures of all of the various gods of the pantheon, has now just become a twisted, blackened spire of magma, cooled magma, that has formed into a crude sculpture of Zariel with her clawed feet up on a dominating pose, crushing what looks to be just a gauntlet that's just being crushed.
Should have the stone elemental knock that thing over.
And as you very anxiously cross through this big major boulevard and across the way and find a gap in the wall, you get to the edge of Elturel, where you get the wide, expansive, almost 180-degree view of Avernus in front of you. And you can see the dark river winding off into the horizon. Lulu, fluttering there, kind of peers out across the horizon and points in a northeastern direction. You can see the kind of cracked, barren, red landscape of Avernus, and she points, okay, so... Yeah, okay, I can still kind of see it. I think that's Fort Knucklebone, because if you look closely, and as you look in the direction she's pointing, you can see what looks to be a landmass that's kind of coming up out of the landscape, like a hill, that's in the center of what almost looks like a massive crater that kind of goes down a bit. And this little landmass, as she's pointing at it, she goes, it's hard to see from this angle, but when I was up higher, I remember it because it kind of looks like a big clawed hand that the hill does, if from above. And as you look at it a little more closely, you can just barely make out what looks like maybe 3 craggy hills that extend out from the central hill that almost look like clawed fingers. And there does appear to be some sort of structure around the hill itself. You can see kind of almost like a darker shape that's more consistent, less organic, like a wall of some sort. And it looks, I don't know, I mean, maybe probably 10 miles out, something like that. But yeah, it's a ways out. And of course, below, you can see the squirming mass of this army. And again, it's very much concentrated just around the bottom of Elturel, and maybe extends a little ways outside of the shadow of Elturel on either side. You do see, there's, in this great expanse of a landscape, there's what look to be little dust devils blowing throughout. There are some just like clouds of dust just kind of moving across the landscape. And then those very, very far off, in kind of where you saw it before, there is that massive shape still looming there on the far, far horizon. This almost floating blade with arcs of energy. Yeah.
Does the energy that's arcing off of it look like the companion?
It's red and reddish orange, and not the bluish color that's coming off the companion.
All right.
Valor, sort of sitting there with the cart there, like at the edge, turns to you all. All right, so what's the next step? What are we doing this? What do you need me to do?
We need to take these wheels off, stick the wings on. Should be easy. Okay, yeah, we can do it.
All right, I can help however you need. Here, and she goes to reach for one of the wings and starts to take it out, set it off to the side.
Slot it right in there.
The wing gets slotted in. She rushes to the other side, pulls the other one out, slots it in. Pip, you probably have to jump up and do some final lashings to get it into place.
Yeah, Pip uses like the alchemist's silly putty, not silly putty.
Oh, nice.
You know, yeah.
The breath of the wild green goo just. No,
Yeah.
just kidding. Anyways, or Tears of the Kingdom, not Breath of the Wild. But anyways, and yeah, I imagine probably you, Calliope, getting down and undoing the bolts on the wheels and taking those out with Big Dummy like acting like a little.
Is it windy up here? I can't imagine like its ideal launching conditions.
Yeah, there's definitely like gusts that periodically. And it's not cold wind; it's like hot, dry wind that billows past. Yeah, if it has been made clear, it's pretty unpleasant here. All of you are feeling like almost perpetually parched, dry skin, chapped. Like it is. Yeah. Imagine being in like a very, very, very hot, dry desert. With it all assembled and ready to go, Valor kind of standing there. So am I pushing this off, and then am I supposed to jump in as it goes over the edge? Is that the idea?
We'll lash you to it first, maybe.
What was that?
We'll lash you to it first, so you can kind of like.
Lash me to
If
it.
you've ever launched a boat, it's a lot like that, like pushing a canoe like into the water. Yeah.
All right, yes, I can do it.
I can give you here. Let me give you this potion of flight just in case, though, because you gave yours to. What's her name? Isadora. Honestly, I wasn't barely listening during that part.
Right,
You never
yes,
heard her name.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right,
I never did.
You were gone. Yeah, you were gone. Yes, Isadora, that's it. All right, should I be taking
But
this
I
now?
heard about the banishment later.
Right, should I take this before I push it off? It's gonna be quite difficult to drink this while I'm falling.
You'll have time. You'll have time.
She tucks it into a satchel. All right, everybody, hop on in.
Okay. A few last couple checks. I think Calliope's like looking over the edge. Kanam, you said we don't want to die, right? Very safe, son. Sorry. And,
Yeah.
And I think Calliope like kind of like goes back to one of the lashings and like holds up Big Dummy and like stows it in, and then like unties a knot, and then you see her like retying a knot, agitated. One second, just making sure.
I all right, yes, I trust you. I've never flown before. How long do you go about just fiddling with the different pieces and continuing to adjust?
I think awkwardly long. Like she'll like kind of start slowing down, like look out over the edge again, and then like go around and like do the same thing on the other side.
Flappy,
Yes, get on.
why don't you come sit?
One last thing.
You said that 3 times now.
I don't want to go down there. I don't like this.
I'm gonna climb out.
Maybe we
And-
should wait for better launch conditions.
As you say that, there's another gust, and you all hear from below a loud uproar as some calamitous thing just happened on the battlefield below.
Maybe the battle will calm down later.
Clappy, this has been going on for millennia. It ain't gonna stop this afternoon. What can I do to help you get into the cart and go down there so that we can get Elturel back to the surface?
Right. What do I need? Can you hold my hand?
Absolutely. I can hold both your hands if you want to.
Okay. It's not the heights. I'm good with heights. You saw me flying around that
Oh,
netheries.
I didn't think it was the height. It's what's down below.
And leaving this city, I feel like I left it one time. I left it one time. Went to Baldur's Gate, and look what happened. And here I am leaving it again. How do I know it's not gonna disappear again? Go down to some lower level while we're gone.
I was gonna say, if it disappears while we're down there, things are probably going pretty well, don't you think?
It's got one of two directions to go. It could go in the wrong direction. And then how would we get to it?
I don't think it will. I think Zoriel thinks it's hers.
Yeah.
The only way
she's
it's
wrong
going
about
is
that. We're
up.
gonna show her.
I agree.
She don't got these streets. Okay. Let's go.
All right.
And I think Calliope's gonna climb in and then be like, oh, no, I can't quit. And just like sit on Kadam's lap. All right.
All right.
It's a little more than I was wanting, but I will let it happen.
Kadam, this small, basically gnome, but the small Genasi woman just sitting on your lap, anxiously kind of squirming there. Lulu fluttering by your side with Pip. I imagine, Pip, you're probably up front. And Valor is at the back. Cracks her back, stretches. All right, so here goes nothing. And she grabs on with the kind of rope harness around her, leading out to the interior of the cart, lashed on, and shoves and runs as it. You all feel it kind of bumping across the rocky landscape, and then all of your stomachs drop as it. And Valor has to full dive off the side as the wings suddenly catch. I'm going to roll, or why don't you roll for me?
What would you like me to roll?
I'm trying to decide. I would say maybe athletics, but I feel like this is more of like an acrobatics thing, because this is like, I think more about dexterity and controlling your body to tumble into it properly. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Claire? What do you think? Because you do a lot of physical.
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it mainly depends as to whether she has lined herself up correctly, as to whether she just needs the power to launch herself, or whether she is needing to throw herself in a particular direction in order to get it.
Got it. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's start with the athletics check. And depending on how well she does there, then she'll make it in. If she doesn't do super well there, then she'll need to try to make that adjustment to land in.
Okay, cool. Athletics, she has a +8 to. Rolled a nat 19. I think we're good.
Yeah, she's totally good. So she is able to, with all of her focus and energy and strength of her body, able to push it in just the right way that she gracefully just flops in. It's a little scary because with her weight coming in and hitting the backside of this cart, as the wings catch and her weight hits, the whole thing kind of goes up for a second, and you're, Calliope, you, kind of knowing the physics of this, are scared it's about to stall. but there's just enough speed that it sort of arcs and then goes down back into a nosedive and starts to. You all feel the wind pick up with immense speed. You're going fast, but you are going at an angle, and you see as you look over your shoulder, Elturel quickly disappearing behind you as this thing starts to glide out. One of you roll a D100 for me.
I think Pip's in the pilot seat
Pip,
for like
roll-
what limited rudder
Roll a
ability
D100
that we have.
for me.
Sorry.
Which
I think
Yeah.
there's some ropes that are like reins kind of
Exactly.
attached to the front, so you can like pull up and it's like, whoa, hold on there.
And it takes like the one time I've gone skydiving, I was like amazed at how hard it is to pull those like little like the ropes to like steer yourself. It takes a lot of strength.
I think as soon as Valor like catches her breath and everything, Pip is like, take them.
Valor will clamber up to the front and grab onto them, and she actually climbs behind you to straddle you and brings her arms around you almost into a hug and grabs the reins and starts controlling it that way.
Just as planned.
But yeah, Pip, if you can roll a D100 for me. This is
Okay.
just to see something.
D100. Okay. 66.
Okay, you're fine. That was to see if there was a percentage chance that this device would fall apart as it was flying because it was, thrown together. You're fine. It is, Calliope, not quite what you had imagined. It is very ramshackle, and it's definitely a controlled fall. It is gliding, but you can already tell the landing is going to be rough, but it will get you down there without killing you. But it is gliding out away from the city. That sound of battle just becomes so loud as you drift out over it. You even, as you're gliding out over and kind of glance over the side, periodically see what appear to be some kind of, well, those of you that look over the side, Kadam, you maybe are just sitting there.
I'm sitting there with Calliope on my lap. That is what I'm doing.
Gotcha. But those of you that look over the side, periodically even see and hear like faint, like booms that go off, and see flashes of fire and well, not fire, I guess it would be more probably like electrical energy, like going off down below. And that's a good question. Does anybody look over the side? Pip does. Okay, and Calliope, you're not looking over the side. And Kadam, you're not looking over the side. Okay,
I think
just
Calliope's doing a breathing exercise.
Got it. Okay, so it's just Pip who looks over the side. Pip, you look over the side and get a brilliant view of this happening below you. You can see that as you are drifting away from the city and you pass by one of these giant pylons that's coming out of the ground, you can see that indeed the infernal forces are concentrated around these pylons and are in very like almost like geometric patterns. Their ranks are so orderly and organized and concise that it almost creates like geometric patterns in their rank and file. Whereas towards the front, it starts to break up into more of like an organic fractal pattern as there is just pure chaos of writhing bodies slamming into these ranks of devils. All the devils are in full armored regalia, huge pikes and glaives trying to push back these writhing bodies of demons. And you can see as you start to drift lower and lower towards the banks of the river Styx and out towards the Avernus wasteland, the demons themselves seem to be pouring out of larger things down by the banks of the river. You see these almost, they look like maybe creatures, maybe boats. It's hard to say. They're almost like a carapaced pill bug with sort of like armored plating along the backside, but at the front it peels up and open into kind of like a fleshy maw that's sort of soft and wet and pink, and just spilling out of this strange creature device vehicle are all of these writhing masses of demons just pouring out and slamming themselves into the devils. As you look out in the other direction, you can see that one of the infernal pylons does not have orderly ranks of devils around it. In fact, you see that there are some orderly ranks of devils that are trying to push in to get up next to it. And you can see that now squirming up the side of the pylon, there appear to be demons just writhing and climbing their way up the side of these pylons. The final thing you see as you continue to drift lower and lower, and you starting to see the ranks of devils thinning out and the battle disappearing beneath you. As you look back towards Elturel floating there above the river Styx, you see one massive shape flying above all of the battling devils and demons. You see that huge pit fiend, leathery wings extended, wielding a banner above their head and a massive sword as they fly over the legions of devils, and you see them arcing in the direction of that one pylon that is being overrun as they shout out something in infernal, and you see them starting to glide down towards that battle. But before they land, let's see something. As you are in this rather large contraption flying over this battle. Let me see. Da-da-da. They seem to be very focused on going in towards this overrun pylon, and you do indeed see them land with a massive swipe of their sorry, I misspoke. It's not a sword. It is a massive mace. But they land on the ground with one massive swipe, and you just see like a shockwave of bodies just scatter out as they land and turn their head and start shouting and pointing as armored devils start swarming around them and pushing into this mass of demons. But as that final image leaves you, as you look forward and you hear Valor kind of Valor actually kind of like causes you to look forward. Bip, the ground is coming in rather fast. And as you look forward, Kadam and Calliope, probably already seeing this approaching, you just see the cracked, craggy red ground below you starting to approach with immense speed.
Featherfall?
I think, yeah, within 60, when Pip kind of is judging it, and within like 60 feet,
Yeah.
takes out 2 vials and crushes them and throws them underneath, and it creates like this massive, like big bubble of like shock absorbing foam.
Nice. Okay, so as it engulfs all 4 of you within, immediately the weight of your bodies is kind of lifted off of the flying device, and it seems to kind of start to arc up a little bit with that sudden departure of weight. And as a result, if you've ever seen like an old prop plane land, they tend to have to do that. It causes the whole thing to slow a bit. And Valor's able to wrangle the rudimentary controls to get it to go back down into a glide, and you all just gently glide down, and it's still a rough landing, but with the feather fall, you don't break any bones, you don't hurt yourselves as it skids across the rocky, craggy ground of Avernus, and as it comes to a halt with dust billowing around you, Valor coughing and kind of standing up and looking back over her shoulder, and we'll end tonight with all of you sitting there in this rudimentary flying device, and you can see far in the background the silhouette of the floating Elturelian city with the black sphere above it still crackling with energy. And as we pull away, we can see far beyond this small group of people the hellish landscape that awaits you, and can see what look to be those dust clouds that are still moving across the landscape. And there almost seems to be a sound accompanying those dust clouds. A low rumble, a low... And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Is the glider okay?
Roll a D100 for me.
It worked.
55.
It is. I mean, y'all rolled really high. It is very well built. Despite it being shoddy, it's still solidly built. And the glider is okay.
I want to take like a little like a casing or something from it, like the same one that like brought us that like we got from the balloon. I think like it was some attachment point that like got cracked and then like Pip super glued back together, and like was kind of like the linchpin here. I'm just like, yes, this is now my lucky linchpin.
Amazing. You can add that to your inventory. A little
Excellent.
linchpin of the glider. The Elturelian
Is it like
glider.
Kintsugi'd where it was broken and
Yeah,
now there's
yeah,
like a beautiful...
What is a linchpin? Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, it's...
Oh my god, it is!
Yeah, it's like... I mean, it's like a pin that... It's like a crucial pin, I think, that holds...
A
Like,
pin that lynches?
Yeah.
It looks like a grenade
Yeah.
thing that you pop out.
Alright, well, we're gonna end there. Thanks for joining us tonight, folks. Thank you, y'all, all of you, and we'll see what happens next.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back, folks.
Yeah! Okie doke. Good night!
Good night.
Right.